Hello children. Today we are going to discuss about Civics chapter Democracy in Action. Till now we have read democracy as a form of government, either indirect democracy or direct democracy. The Gram Sabha, which is an example of direct democracy at the village level, whereas the villagers come together and take decisions for themselves. So, in indirect form of democracy, political power remains with the people, and but it is exercised indirectly, that is through representatives elected by them. So, these representatives make up the legislature, and it is known as parliament in our country, where the laws are made for whole country, and the state assemblies, where the laws are made for the state. So, they elections and representation are two key elements or tools in indirect democracy. But elections becomes an efficient tool of democracy only when it really reflects the will of the people. So, universal adult franchise. So, a democratic government becomes meaningful when its citizens participate in elections. And in modern democratic government of all men and women who have attained a minimum age of 18 uh, have the right to vote. So only children below the age of voting, those declared bankrupt, persons of unsound mind, and persons declared criminals by the law courts are not entitled to vote. So universal adult franchise mean therefore mean that the right to vote is universally given to all the adult citizens irrespective of religion, caste, sex, property, educational qualifications, etc. So it was called manhood suffrage. Earlier, what is manhood suffrage? Earlier, only men were given the right to vote. So now, today, almost all the countries have removed the such discriminatory qualifications, and there is universal adult franchise, which became the basis of elections. And in India also, the people who attain 18 or above 18 can are given right to vote. And an important principle of adult franchise is the rule of one person, one vote and each vote should have one value. This is based on equality of citizens. And democracy assumes that equality of men and women, rich and poor, elected, educated or illiterate. So no citizen is less than others in respect of right to vote. So election is should be held in a free atmosphere. That means it should be the election should be free and fair in a democratic country. So what is election? It is a selection of public official by the citizens of state or the political bodies. Either it may be an MLA or MLC or any MPs. So election is a mechanism in which the people can choose their representatives at regular intervals. In India, the elections are held for every 5 years and change them if they wish to do so. So this mechanism is called as election. So however, the elections of some sections of people do not enjoy right to vote and are left out from the process of choosing representatives. Certain individuals or groups try to prevent other people from voting by use of force or threats. Or some candidates or a party spreads baseless and malicious rumors against some other candidate to dissuade people from voting for that candidate. And authorities who are interested with the conduct of elections uh, side with a particular candidate or party and manipulate the election process. That's why some people could not enjoy proper voting rights. Then, in situations like this, people are either not free to express their preference, or they are treated unfairly. So, in India, people exercise their freedom through secret ballot system. This requires that nobody should know the in whose favor the person is voting. So it should remain a secret even for after voting also. So the secret ballot is an essential feature of democratic elections. And this secret ballot system was first introduced in Australia in 1856. So two different methods were used then. In the first one, the voter had to cross out all the candidates whom he did not want elected. In the second, the voter had to mark the corresponding box of the preferred candidates. And now we have pre-printed ballot papers and electronic voting machines. Then we have simple majority system. How many votes should a candidate get to win? There can be different criteria. There is different criteria for this. They can show absolute majority. That means securing more than half of the total votes, or simple majority. That means securing the highest number of votes. So the simple majority implies that the winning candidate may or may not have secured more than half of the total votes. And we have constituencies, different electoral constituencies. So, what is this electoral constituency? Refers to the territorial area. It is the area which elects and sends one representative either to the parliament or to the state assembly. So particular areas will have one representatives according to the territorial. That means according to the area wise it will be. So an MP represents a parliamentary constituency in the Lok Sabha, while an MLA represents an assembly constituency in the Vidhan Sabha. Then the election duties will be given by the Election Commission of India. It is entrusted with the task of conducting elections in the country. So this election commission is an independent body which is headed by Chief Election Commissioner, EC, CEC. Then he was appointed by the President of India under the CEC, or the Election Commission. Various state election commissioners, each responsible for elections in their respective states. And at the constituency level, the returning officer appointed by the so is the main official for the conducting elections. At the constituency level, we have returning officer appointed by the election commission. He is the main official responsible for conducting elections. In elections, each polling booth has about 5 officials. The presiding officer is in charge of the booth, and 4 other members calling polling officers assist him. And we have general election, by-election, and midterm election. What is this general election? The general election, this term is used when election take place all over the country or in a state to constitute a new legislature. So in India, the countrywide elections are also called parliament elections or Lok Sabha elections. And statewide elections are called as assembly elections or Vidhan Sabha elections. And all elections are they held for every 5 years. Then then comes the by-election. What is by-election? So if a member of a parliament or of a state legislature dies or resigns before completion of his term, then to fill that gap, by-elections are conducted. And midterm elections are conducted. The president, under such circumstances, the president may, on the advice of the prime minister, dissolve the Lok Sabha before the completion of its term of office. That is, before 5 years of its office, and wanted to conduct fresh elections to form the new house. So that is midterm elections. So election campaign is also very important. And every political party and every candidate tries to reach out to as many voters as possible. The parties appeal to the voters to vote for them. Then, but in large constituency, it may not be possible for the candidate to do the door-to-door campaigns. So, in this situation, he can hold public meetings, wall posters, roadside hoardings and banners, handbills, corner or chowpal meetings, processions by supporters, and house visits by local leaders can be done on behalf of the leader. In addition to these traditional methods, political parties now also make the use of radio, television, and SMSs. So, what is election manifesto? So, an election manifesto is a document issued by every party before a general election. It lists the party's policies and programs for the future. This way, voters can decide whom they would like to vote. So, in the next video, we will see about the political parties.